Got a great class for you today. It's awesome for beginners and it's only gonna take you about 25 minutes. All right, let's get started. Okay, so we're gonna start by laying on our back on our mats. Try to find a nice comfortable position. Sometimes I like to roll my shoulder blades a little bit further under me for a nice chest opener. And with your palms up, close your eyes. Try to really focus in on your breath. We're gonna do 5 centering breaths here. In through the nose and out through the mouth. And try to lengthen those inhales and then lengthen the exhales. Pulling the breath in through the stomach, up through the chest, and finally in through the collarbones. And releasing through the collarbones, through your chest, and through your stomach. Last one here. I'm gonna bring the arms up overhead for a full body stretch. Really stretch down through those toes. Really try to waken up that body here, and then grab those knees. Maybe you need to roll around on your lower back. Try to give it a little bit of a massage. Maybe side to side, making circles with your knees on the ceiling. And then reverse those circles. And when you're done, plant those feet. Plant the hands, palms facing down. Those 10 toes are facing toward the front of the room. And lift the glutes off the ground. Really trying to engage those quads. Pull that tummy in, engage the abdomen, and then release. And then lift up one more time. Try not to over squeeze the buns. We just want to make sure we're not compressing our lower back. And release. The last one here. Lifting, really trying to get the whole spine off the ground. And release. I'm gonna lengthen out the left leg, bring my left arm up and roll towards you guys. We're gonna do a quad stretch, so bring that hand to your ankle. Try to keep that right knee in line with the rest of the body here. We don't want it flaring out to the side, keeping it nice and straight. Try to really pull as much as you can that foot up into your glute. And then release and roll back. Plant the hands this time. We're gonna bring those feet up towards the ceiling for some dynamic hamstring stretches. If you notice, if you can engage your quads, those hamstrings just get a little bit looser here. Plant the feet. We're gonna roll over to the other side. Bring the arm up, straighten that bottom leg. Grab that ankle and try to bring it up as close as you can to your glutes, keeping the knee in line with the rest of the body. We're not trying to overdo it here and make this a back bend. Keep your spine nice and straight with the rest of the body. And release, roll onto your back. Now straighten out the left leg and bring that right leg straight up. We're gonna take the right leg out to the side for some abduction, feeling a stretch in the inner hips. Really try to push your energy through the heel of that leg, and then bring it in through center and even cross the body for adduction. Here you'll feel a stretch in the outer hips. Back to center, footprint down on the floor. Straighten that leg and then bring the other leg up. Take it out to the side, abduction with that inner stretch, pushing energy through the heel. Make sure we're protecting that kneecap. And then over across the body for adduction with an outer hip stretch. Back to center. Bring those feet down to the floor, and we're gonna meet in a seated position here. So now in a seated position, we're just gonna do some simple neck rolls. We're gonna start going back and over to the left. Maybe you find something that's a little bit sticky, something that has a little bit of discomfort. You can sit there, hold that stretch on that spot. Reverse your circle. Really try to keep your shoulder blades down and away from the ears. And then back to center. We're gonna keep the right knee in, or the right leg in. Bring that left leg out. We're gonna flex those toes back towards our shins, and we're gonna try to keep our right knee bent somewhere around our thigh. If you need to bring it out a little bit further, whatever's comfortable for you. I like to bring my hands up overhead, and then I like to lead with my chest down towards my foot. This helps maintain that my back is straight in a forward fold, rather than if I was just to reach for my foot and hunch over. It's not quite the stretch we're looking for. Just bring your hands up, keeping a nice straight, flat back, and when you've met your maximum, you can release the hands down by your foot. Making sure to keep those toes pointed back at you. All right, sitting straight up, we're gonna bring our right hand behind us, and we're gonna bring that left hand up, plant the left foot, and we're gonna push the buns up in the air for a small little back bend or a modified wild thing here. And then set the bottom back down, releasing that foot from the earth, and we're gonna switch out our legs. Just bring the right leg out, left foot in, bring those hands up overhead, leading with the heart towards your foot. Met my maximum, I can release my hands here. Really trying to push that chest out towards those toes and those toes towards your chest. And release. We're gonna sit back up, plant that left hand behind you, plant that right foot, and we are going to bring it up for a modified wild thing, small back bend to get us started here for the day. And then plant the buns. We are gonna meet in a tabletop position. All right, in tabletop position, my wrists are directly under my shoulders. My knees are directly under my hips here. We're in a nice neutral spine, making sure that we are pushing into our thumb and index finger, where we have a nice bone-on-bone connection, and we're gonna go into some cat-cows. So take a deep inhale and raise the back up for cat, and then exhale down for cow. We don't wanna sag into the shoulders, making sure that they're still nice and strong, pushing the earth away. Inhale up, and exhale down into cow. Last one. Inhale, rising up through the spine, and exhale, maybe your biggest one yet. Now, we are going to lift the left arm and the right leg. We're gonna do a little bit of pulsing here. Work on our coordination, working on our balance. We are gonna switch to bring the left leg up, right arm up, couple more pulses. Really try to engage that belly. We don't want it sinking toward the floor. Plant the hands, plant the knees, and we are going to rise up into plank and downward facing dog. First one of the day, usually needs a little bit of walking out. I'm gonna bring that right leg up and meet toward my right hand. Do a little bit of a lizard pose here. Doesn't need to be a huge stretch. Just really trying to find our inner hip stretch here. Some people might be more advanced. They wanna go down onto their forearms, or you can even use a block or two. Bring the floor a little bit closer to you and rest in this position. If you're using your blocks, let's remove them and switch onto the other side. So plant the hands, bring that leg back, downward dog, bring the left leg up, outside of the left hand here for a big inner hip stretch, really trying to engage the core so our tummy is not sinking down towards the ground. Remember to keep pushing the floor away, pressing through the thumb and index side of your hand. Bring that left leg back, downward facing dog. Look up towards your hands, step up towards your hands. Inhale, fingertips to shins, nice long flat back. And exhale, let it go. Inhale, root to rise, hands up overhead. And exhale, release those hands. Now let's get started with our sun salutation A's. So hands up overhead, inhale, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise fingertips to shins. And exhale, plant the hands, step back and lower all the way down to the belly. Inhale, rise up for cobra, a nice long neck, light through the fingertips, pressing the pinky side of the toes down toward the floor. Exhale, release. Inhale, tuck the toes, push up into a plank position. And inhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, look up towards your hands. Exhale, step up toward your hands. Inhale, fingertips to shins. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise, hands up overhead. And exhale, hands down at your sides. Let's get right back into it. Hands up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, fingertips to shins. And exhale, plant the hands, step back, lower down to the belly. Inhale, rise up for cobra. Exhale, release. Inhale, up to plank. And exhale, downward facing dog. This time we're gonna add a little something in here. So bring that right leg up and step it on through. Put that back heel down. Grab those blocks if you've got them, because we're gonna do a half splits here. Bring those blocks down at your sides. And if you need to, scoot that heel on a little bit forward there. Nice hamstring stretch. Take some nice deep breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth. Really be sure you're bringing those toes back towards your shins, so we're flexing that foot. Keep a nice long spine. And let's release. Let's go on to the other side. So bring that back foot, or that foot back toward the other one. Bring the left leg up and swing it on through. Bring the back knee down and grab those blocks again. Scoot my foot up there a little bit further and flex that front leg. Nice hamstring stretch. And if you need to, you feel like you're pretty locked out here, you can kind of micro bend that knee and really push in through the heel. All right, release that, get rid of those blocks again. Plant the hands, bring that foot back with the other one. Downward facing dog. Inhale, look up. Exhale, step up. Inhale, rise, fingertips to shins, nice flat back. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. And exhale, back into mountain. All right, next we're gonna start our sun salutation bees. So inhale, rise those hands up overhead, and exhale, sit back into your chair. Be nice and light through the toes, heavy through the heels, hinging at the hips and bringing those hips up, tuck them into your ribs. Inhale and exhale, release, let it go, forward fold. Inhale, rise up to a nice flat back. Exhale, plant the hands, step back into plank, and you can either go into downward dog or follow me for a chaturanga. So bringing those elbows into your ribs, no more than a 90-degree angle. Flip the toes, rising up into upward facing dog. Flipping the toes once again, back into downward facing dog. Inhale, look up. Exhale, step up. Inhale, fingertips to shins, nice long back. And fold, let it go. Inhale, rise up, hands overhead. And exhale, back to mountain. All right, bring those hands up. Sink back into our chair. Take a deep inhale and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise halfway. Nice long flat back. Exhale, plant the hands, step back. Lower into chaturanga, flip the toes into up dog. Flipping those toes on back, downward facing dog. This time we're gonna let those right toes fly, bring them on through towards our hands. Spin that back heel down and we're gonna rise up into our first warrior two. Make sure that that front knee is tracking over the right toes, tracing through the middle of the foot. Bring those hips up in towards your ribs, engaging the core. Shoulder blades nice and relaxed down the back. Now we're gonna go into side angle. So we're gonna lean forward and bring those fingers down by your toes. And if you can, take a look up, see if you can see your other hand back there. And then flip that palm up. We're gonna reverse our warrior. Making sure that back hand is nice and light on that back thigh. Keeping nice firm foundation. And then cartwheel the hands back down on the ground. Bring that right foot back to the other. Downward facing dog. Inhale the left toes up. Step them on through. Spin that right heel down, rising up into warrior two. Making sure our foundation's good. We got that knee tracking through those front toes. They're all facing forward. Abs engaged. We are going to lean forward into our side angle. Making sure to keep those hips in. We're not flaring out our booty towards the side. And if you can, take a look up towards your other hand. Now flip the palm up. Reverse our warrior. Keep a nice long spine. We're not trying to do a back bend here. So pulling the energy up and out of the crown of your head. Cartwheel the hands back down. Bring that left foot towards the right. Downward facing dog. Inhale, look up. Exhale, step up. Fingertips to shins, nice long spine. And let it go, forward fold. Inhale, rise, hands up overhead. And exhale, mountain. All right, guys, we got just one more of these sun salutation Bs and we are almost done. So stick with me here. Inhale the hands up overhead. Diving forward to our forward fold. Inhale, fingertips to shins. Exhale, plant the hands, step back. Either go to downward facing dog or follow me for chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Flipping the toes on back, downward facing dog. Bring those right toes up. Bring them on through. Spin the back heel down and rise up into that warrior two again. This time we're going to straighten that front leg and we're going to lean forward, bringing that right hand by the pinky toe side of our foot for triangle. Making sure to push all of our energy through the ball of our front foot. We're going to reverse this triangle here, making sure to keep a light pressure on that back leg. And we're not doing a back bend, so we're rooting up with our spine. We're not leaning back. Cartwheel the hands back down. Step our right foot back with the left, downward facing dog. Bring the left foot up, bringing it on through. Spin the right heel down, warrior two. Straighten the front knee, bringing our hands to the pinky toe side of that front foot. Making sure those 5 toes are facing forward. And if you're feeling kind of locked out, don't forget you can micro bend that front knee. Flip the hand, reverse that triangle. Nice long straight spine here. Tucking those hips up into your ribs, engaging the core. Cartwheel the hands back down. Back into plank, downward facing dog. Inhale, look up towards our hands. Step up towards our hands. Inhale, nice flat back, and release it for a forward fold. Inhale, rise, hands up overhead. And exhale, Tadasana. Good job, you guys, we did it. Now it's time for a cool down. We're gonna do a couple of my favorite poses. So we're gonna meet down on hands and knees in tabletop position. This first one is gonna be pigeon. So just briefly, bring it up into downward dog. Bring that right leg up, but sweep it on through. So you're bringing that right knee up towards the right hand. Some people are able to get their leg parallel with the mat. Not everybody's does that. So mine sits a little bit further back than my knee. And you can either keep it here for pigeon, making sure that you have a nice level hips. We're not having one sinking one way or the other. Sometimes you do need a block in order to prop that up under the glutes there to help keep those hips level. If you want to relax into it a little more, you can come on down to your forearms. And maybe you don't need a prop at all. As long as you're keeping a nice level and flat back. All right, now let's change them out. Rise up, bring that foot on back. Left leg up and sweep it on through. Left knee is up. by my left hand and making sure that that right back leg is straight in line with the hip. We don't want it going all wonky out to the sides there. Just gonna hold this pose for a couple of breaths. Plant the hands, bring it on back to plank, and then put those knees down for tabletop position. Here we're just gonna go into child's pose. You can go from tabletop, or I like to extend my knees back a little bit further and really sink on back, keeping my hands planted. Some people like to kind of feel like they're dragging their hands backwards towards them to really get a good chest opener. Other people really enjoy a child's pose with their hands down at their sides. Try out each one, figure out which one works best for you and your body. I'm gonna hold this just for a couple of deep breaths here. Plant the hands, lift back up into tabletop position. I find myself in a seated position next. More than welcome to cross your legs here. I'm gonna grab my blocks for this next one. What we're gonna do is have our legs crossed and we're gonna kind of lean forward into a forward fold, and we're just using our blocks like we're walking them out. In order to get a little bit of a side body stretch, I'm gonna walk them over to the side. I'm gonna start with my right side here. Really great side body stretch. I can feel it all the way down into my hip. And then back to center. And then you guessed it, we're gonna do the other side. Walking them over to the left. Really try to breathe into that side body here. Remember, like I said earlier, with our forward folds, really try to keep that spine nice and straight, not rounding through the spine. And back to center. Walk them back in, toss them off to the side here. I'm gonna scoot forward, and we're just gonna do a little bit of rocking and rolling. Get out the last few little cracks in our spine, give us a nice massage. And then when you're ready to lay on your back, last pose here, we're gonna lift our legs up and grab, if you can, the pinky toe side of your foot for a happy baby. If you can't quite reach your feet, that's all right. Just grab the pinky toe side of your ankle or even your calves if needed. Really just wanna get one last stretch through those inner hips and end symmetrically here. Make sure to keep those toes facing back towards you, flexing back towards your shins, and pulling those feet down toward the ground. All right, release gently. Bring your hands down at your side. You're welcome to stay in Shavasana as long as you need. Really try to refocus back on your breath. See if you can get it back to where it was at the beginning of class. Trying to deepen those inhales and elongate your exhales. Thank you for joining me with this yoga class for beginners. I've got plenty more on my channel, so go check them out, and I hope that your yoga practice thrives.